I linked up Mugusu to Joan Mwangi, who's the CEO and founder of PMS Group that has been in existence for the last 2 decades. Joan sits on various boards as a strategic advisor. She also is a venture capitalist. Joan is a 3 times finalist in the All African Business Leadership Awards and also has won the coveted KPMG Top Entrepreneur of the Year.
Hi Joan, nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
I'm so grateful to meet you. I am Mugusu Momanyi. I run Gold Sky Marketing. We are a full-service promotional agency, as well as PMS. I know you are legends in the industry. So Joan, how has it been and where did you start?
Wow, first and foremost, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to meet you. And I'm really excited to meet the future me, because when I see you, that's what I see. So we started about 25 years ago, and the business has been a roller coaster. As I'm sure you already know, in the 3 years you've been in business,
It just humbled me.
And downs.
Downs, exactly.
So
I think
well
the
done.
downs are more than the ups.
In the initial stages, I must agree, yes. But once you learn how to surmount them, that's it. You start getting to a level where the downs don't go, they're downs, yes, but they don't go too low.
Exactly.
And I'm excited also because you're almost the same age as PMS Group.
Okay.
Yes,
How old
because
are you
I
guys?
know we are 25 years, and I know that you're close to 25. So you're our first, you're PMS twin.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Much respect. Much respect.
Thank
So
you.
when did it start? How did you just sit up? Hey, told yourself, hey, my brain, body and soul, let's do this.
First of all, for me, I started this business to pay bills. The way people say I had a business plan, I started this business to pay bills because I couldn't make ends meet. And so when I realized I couldn't make ends meet, I started thinking I need to do a side hustle. Those days we didn't know what a side hustle was, so I was just looking for another way to make money. And finally I realized that companies such as my then employer, Colgate-Palmolive, were struggling because anytime they needed feet and hands on the ground, we had to do it ourselves. I was a brand manager then because there were no agencies. There were only 2 agencies existing at that time. And so I came out and I said, you know what? I understand how it is from the client side, and I can go out and service them from the outside. So that was the genesis of PMS. And when I started, the only thing I wanted to do was really in-store promotions because that was where the need was. But in 25 years, obviously, we have grown to a much wider scope as we continue to meet the needs of our clients.
So what has been the highest point in your career, the last 25 years, and what is the lowest you've ever gone?
Oh, wow. Let me start with the highest because that one never leaves you. You stay high on it. Huh? So in 2010, PMS Group was the winner of the top 100 medium-sized companies survey in Kenya. And in 2008, we actually were number 23. It was the very first time we had entered a competition, let alone to emerge at number 23. I mean, the first quarter, we couldn't believe it. We were so excited. Because, you know, as an entrepreneur, nobody ever pats you on the back. And so I continued to go to KPMG for mentorship, which is an initiative I took. I don't think the other entrepreneurs did. And as a result, they taught me a few things. And it took me 2 years to understand that if you sort out your financials, it is the heart of your business. You must worry about your financial ratios. How much revenue are you making? What's your margin, your profit percentage? How much are you spending on operations and overheads? And therefore, net, what are you actually remaining with? Because you could be doing so much work, and in the end, what you're making is less than 10%. So you might as well have put your money in treasury bills and bonds and slept. So you really need to look at those numbers. So that's what they taught me. And so in 2010, PMS Group was number 1 in the top medium-sized companies. I was the top entrepreneur, and we also were the best in the service sector. So that's the highest of the highs. So we've had many highs, but I think that being the first really
is the epitome of all.
It was the epitome. We were so thrilled. We went to Mombasa for a week as the whole team. Okay. When it comes to the lowest, I would say there are many lows. But the one I consider the lowest of the lows for me was when we had post-election violence, and we found that for a period of about 5 months, really you are living on your savings. And for a small business, if you don't have reserves, that means you shut down.
Definitely.
Okay? So that was a very low period. But thankfully, the economy geared up and turned around, and we were able to keep going, and we had used our reserves. I've always been a prudent spender. I'm not a spender really. So any money we make, we retain our profits.
Good.
And that means that we had something to work with. And I would really recommend that you come up with a percentage of your profit that every year you retain and put it where you can't reach it.
Definitely.
Okay? So that you don't go for it anytime you're broke. You only reach it when it really is at that crucial time. That's what saved us that time.
That's a very good lesson. I think I'm really glad to learn that.
You're welcome.
I think when you look at the agency business, when it comes to profiling for clients, in terms of looking for business, what is your catch? How do you go? How do you go for business? And how do you leverage on having a client?
First and foremost, you and I are in two different spaces for one simple reason, experience. Okay?
100%.
All right. So now, for me, I have to leverage experience because I'm able to tell a client the number of years we've been in business, our scope and our capability, and also the reach that we have developed over these 25 years. Also, the kind of financial muscle that we can bring in. So what I do is that first and foremost, when we are selecting a client, we pick a client that fits our profile. Because remember, I will always be more expensive than you because my overheads will be higher than yours.
Definitely.
Okay? So since I'm going to be more expensive, I need to go to a client who has got a job that is big enough that it requires the kind of firepower that PMS is bringing to the table. And that way, I leave the business that you can do to you and the business that I can do where I have a differentiated advantage. That's where I go. So that means that we go to clients who want to do Pan-African work, global work, and to clients who are also looking to do projects that are above $1 million, so that way I know that if they come to you, you'll say, man, I don't have that money. I know how to get that money. So that's the difference. So you and I will not essentially be in direct competition.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
But soon you will be my direct competitor, I know.
Time will tell.
I can see. No, I'm sure.
Time will tell. We're going hard both, so this is it. So again, I think for me, I think I'm glad that you are in this space whereby you have to also profile a client on your own. But has a project ever gone south? You started off and it just
tanked. Yes. I've had occasion where I actually have fired clients. For me, business is not just about making money.
Absolutely.
It's also about doing good, and it's also about being good. So there's some clients you work with and you find that the chemistry is not working. They're bringing negative energy to your organization. I don't work with a client who is disrespectful of myself or of anybody, any member of my team, or even of their own people. Because that means I'm condoning that behavior, and I will not condone that behavior. So the minute we find a client is like that, I will pull the plug, okay? And I will say, no, we can't do this. And I can tell you on occasion, some members of my team will say, no, let's go on. And I will tell them, the money is not worth it.
So grateful to have this conversation. I've learned a lot.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
It's my absolute pleasure. And I wish you the best. And you can count on me to do anything I can to help you grow bigger than PMS.
Thank you so much. Meeting with Joanne has been really incredible. I've learned immense from this conversation, that it takes mentorship to build a business. She had to go to KPMG to learn about her cash flow management, leveraging on her revenue streams, how to keep her cash flow, how to hold cash when business is low, and how to, have more monies in the pocket to finance projects. And the other most important lesson is that she just taken 25 good years to build PMS Group. That means that's a lot and lots of patience in her heart. So I think my key takeaway is that it will take long to build business, but with the hard work and patience to it, things finally come out to play. So thank you so much for having me in this interview.
Thank you so much for having watched the show. Hope you've learned a thing or two from the entrepreneurs we've profiled on the show. If you're an entrepreneur out there and you'd like to be a part of the show, feel free to reach us on our social media handles, which are running below the screen. And also remember, each and every Wednesday to grab a copy of The Standard to read the Business Coach column, where I usually share insights on how exactly to grow and better your businesses. And also check out the Business Coach website, that is businesscoach.co.ke. My name is Ian Dennis, and this has been The Business Coach, where we help entrepreneurs better their businesses. Here are events to look out for. On February 13th and 14th, there's an emotional intelligence training happening at the Best Western Hotel, Nairobi from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., hosted by Preston HR. On February 29th, there's a Nairobi Digital Skills Training happening at the American Spaces Moi Avenue Bazaar Plaza from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. On March 6th, there's a Women in Leadership Awards happening at the Intercontinental Hotel from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. If you like your event mentioned or the business coach to be a part of your event, feel free to reach us on our social media handles.